As you run up to kick the ball, you take the final step. You plant one foot beside the ball and you load the other foot by pulling it backwards for the strike. Your muscles will then transfer their force to the ball, and with great skill and accuracy, it goes where you want it to for a successful pass or goal. But have you ever thought about the actual movement created when kicking a soccer ball? What bones, muscles, or joints within the body are actually used? Well, there are a few joints involved in this kicking a soccer ball, such as the knee or hip joint, but I will be specifically focusing on the ankle joint throughout this presentation. The ankle joint is also known as the talocorural joint. It is a synovial joint located in the lower limb of the appendicular skeleton. A synovial joint is fully movable, thus is often the site of injuries. It also contains several components such as synovial fluid that allows for lubrication and nutrients, as well as articular cartilage that absorbs forces. The ankle joint is categorized as a hinge joint, thus only predicting uniaxial movement along a single plane, specifically dorsiflexion and plantar flexion of the foot. Dorsiflexion allows for the flexion of the foot in an upwards direction, as plantar flexion is when the foot or toes move downwards towards the sole. In order for the ankle joint to produce movement, bones and muscles must also be involved. Bones of the feet are typically divided into three sections: forefoot, midfoot, and hindfoot. The forefoot contains 5 toes, phalanges, and 5 long bones, metatarsals. The midfoot is a pyramid-like collection of bones that form the arch of the feet, which is typically called tarsals. The hind foot forms the heel and ankle. The talus bone supports the leg bones, which are the tibia and the fibula, thus forming the ankle. And the calcaneus bone is the heel of the bone and is also the largest bone in the foot. Overall, the lower limbs, knee down, is composed of short and long bones. The short bones are typically cube-shaped and found in confined spaces, and they transfer force or energy into the movement. Long bones appear larger than they are wide and function actually as a lever. So while performing a soccer kick, there are also many muscles involved throughout the body. Focusing on the lower limbs, the quadricep group includes rectus femoris, vastus lataris, vastus intermedialis, which is located on the anterior side of the body; the hamstring group, which includes bicep femoris, semitendinosus, and semimembranosus, located on the posterior side of the body; the calf muscle group includes the solealis and gastromenialis, and the Achilles tendon, which is also located on the posterior side of the body; and the tibialis anterior as well, which is kind of known as the shin, are all involved in one way or another with the movement of the soccer kick. The hamstring and quadricep group allow for the flexion and extension of the knee and the plantar flexion of the ankle. The skeletal muscles are long and straightened. They create short-term contractions with great strength, so low duration and high intensity, and they are voluntary as well. There is no doubt that the ankle joint is one of the most vulnerable joints throughout the body. Vulnerability for injury increases with age, as the articular cartilage between the bones will slowly start to degenerate, thus not being able to absorb the shock or the forces as well. Gender does also play a role while increasing vulnerability, as females have something called a Q angle, which is the angle between the hip and the knees, which is often larger in women, causing an uneven distribution in weight, as well as typically women have a weaker muscles to begin with, thus not being able to support their joints as well. So bone injuries could include a simple compound or commute or stress fracture, as well as osteoporosis. Muscle injuries could include a strain, and joint injuries could include a sprain or dislocation. So in most of these cases, physical therapy would be needed to strengthen the ankle, improve balance and range of motion, in order to prevent further injury from occurring, as well as they would receive proprioception, which is basically where the body knows that it is in regards to its environment. So in some cases, surgery may also be needed as the first step to repair and construct the damage, but for the most part, non-surgical option would be okay.